What's My Name safety campaign for Uber encourages riders to walk up to the door before they enter their Uber and ask their driver, "What's my name?" before they actually enter the vehicle. If a server provides too many of these to someone underage or to the point of intoxication, they could be fined up to $50. I'm here in 5 Points, where police say Samantha Josephson was last seen. And as you can see, her memorial here at the 5 Points fountain only continues to grow. The bill already passed in the House, and Representative Simrill believes it has enough vote support in the Senate. They have about 4 weeks of usable time to get it passed. A recent poll done by Benchmark Research found that 72% of South Carolinians actually support medical marijuana. These row covers right here add an extra 5 degrees of protection. Trying to find a better detection method for drivers under the influence and tightening the definition of a debilitating condition. How are you going to prioritize minority communities as a white male in a diverse Democratic Party? Okay. At just 9 years old, Halle suffers from a rare metabolic disorder which leaves her unable to walk or talk. Halle's mother, Cathy, is there for symptoms like intense seizures.
A minute can seem like forever when someone's lips are starting to turn blue.
Halle used to experience 5 to 7 seizures a month with traditional medicine, until the family tried something else.
She takes 2 traditional seizure medications, and then a few years ago we added cannabis.
This CBD oil comes from the hemp plant, similar to marijuana, but does not enact a chemical high. CBD is also legal in South Carolina. Marijuana and THC is not. For years, the Stevens family has advocated for medical marijuana to use a medicine they believe would help decrease Halle's seizures. This year, the South Carolina Compassionate Care Act is trying to address concerns by making amendments. Those amendments include banning certain transportation drivers from participating, trying to find a better detection method for drivers under the influence, and tightening the definition of a debilitating condition. Author of the bill, Senator Tom Davis, knows that some South Carolinians aren't used to thinking of marijuana as medicine.
It takes time, to get out of that mindset. But when you find out those examples, when you hear about that medical history, when you talk to the families and to the doctors and you see the real relief that's been provided, that's when hearts and minds are changed.
Yet opposition at the state law enforcement level continues.
Really, the only thing medicine about it is the name. It's not been approved by the FDA. It's not undergone clinical trials. There's no quality standards in many of these products that we're seeing coming into the laboratory.
But families affected by the bill are starting to get frustrated with the lack of acceptance.
And it's hard year after year to go to the State House and be told that essentially it feels like Halle's life doesn't matter.
Right now, the bill is before the Senate Medical Affairs Committee. For Carolina News, I'm Mills Hayes. It's no secret Carolinians love their football, and South Carolina could be the home of the Carolina Panthers practice facility if the job tax credit bill passes. Panthers owner David Tepper is looking to move his team's operations to York County, and York County Representative Gary Simrill believes the move to the city of Rock Hill would be big for South Carolina.
This is a boon for us to have, just from the economics of it. When you add to that the fact that you would have the Carolina Panthers with their headquarters and practice facilities in South Carolina is a further win.
Simrill says the facility would provide $190 million in payroll with 150 permanent employees, including the players, who would be taxed on their income.
The benefit to South Carolina, to our tax roll, 85% of the revenue that South Carolina spends every year to take care of services in South Carolina, 85% of that is between sales tax and income tax. So this would increase the income tax base for South Carolina, so it is a win there.
The bill already passed in the House, and Representative Simrill believes it has enough vote support in the Senate. They have about 4 weeks of usable time to get it passed. Governor Henry McMaster sent a report Monday from the South Carolina Department of Commerce of the potential economic impact. But Democratic Senator Dick Harpootlian is holding up the Senate vote.
It's not enough. It's an outline. I'm a lawyer. If I advise a client of mine to sign that deal based on what we've seen, I get sued for malpractice.
He says he's not for it or against it, but needs more details.
They did the same thing for the Redskins in Richmond. They got no retail, they got no jobs, and now there's a lawsuit between the city of Richmond and the Redskins who reneged on the deal.
If the bill goes to vote and passes, the governor is expected to sign it immediately. For Carolina News, I'm Mills Hayes.
Y'all know Sammy was our girl. She would just literally walk in the room and just make you smile, no hesitation whatsoever.
Friends, family, and hundreds in the community gathered to remember the life of University of South Carolina student Samantha Josephson at a vigil Sunday night. Police say the 21-year-old was leaving a Five Points bar when she got into a car she mistook as her Uber early Friday morning. Later that day, her body was found in a wooded area about an hour away from 5 Points. We heard from people in Samantha Josephson's life, such as her father, her boyfriend, and fellow students here at the university. Between tears, Samantha's boyfriend, Greg Corbishley, remembers the last time he spoke with who he called the love of his life.
The last words she said to me over FaceTime on Thursday were that I was her person and that she loved me.
Samantha's father, Seymour Josephson, says his new purpose in life is to make sure this never happens again.
She had absolutely no chance. If there's somebody else in the car, there's actually a chance.
He pushed for students to never ride in an Uber alone. And while her life was cut short, there's no question that Sammy was loved by many.
I've never met somebody more true to who they were and so unapologetically themselves. She made everybody feel special and made everybody laugh.
Some even remembered how passionate she was.
We often called her the next Amal Clooney because we knew how far she would go in the field of international law.
Samantha was set to attend Drexel University Law School in the fall, a dream that will never be a reality now. And as the sun went down, candles were lit in memory of a life that was taken too soon. For Carolina News, I'm Mills Hayes.
When you think of your stereotypical pothead, I want you to think of me.
Advocates for the Compassionate Care Act joined together at the State House today. The bill would allow doctors to prescribe medical marijuana in the state of South Carolina. Veterans like Stephen Diaz think it might be the answer to health issues like PTSD.
It has helped them with post-traumatic stress. It has helped them with being able to sleep better. You have veterans who, depending on their disabilities, might only get 2 or 3 hours of sleep and are afraid to take certain medications because they don't want to get addicted to it.
I was, and others like me, were willing to give it all. All we ask is for the medicine that we deserve.
Opponents of the bill argue that marijuana can be addictive too. But Vice President of Research here at the University of South Carolina says only 9% of the people who take marijuana become addicted.
More and more research is showing that, marijuana is not a gateway drug, but it's actually an exit drug.
Meaning that marijuana might help some leave highly addictive drugs like opioids. A recent poll done by Benchmark Research found that 72% of South Carolinians actually support medical marijuana. If the bill is passed, South Carolina will be the 34th state to approve of a medical marijuana program. Senator Tom Davis sponsored the bill and believes he knows what South Carolina residents want.
They want to empower doctors. They want this to be used for medical purposes, for specific medical purposes. They do not want this to be like other states, to be a precursor to recreational.
He hopes the bill will serve as an example for other socially conservative states to empower physicians but not move towards recreational drug use. For Carolina News, I'm Mills Hayes.